from your vantage point, what are the five things that people need to be thinking about?
Sure. Yeah. So I'd say, that first you have to focus on your voice, right? So it's like, how are you? It's about authenticity. Like people can tell if you're talking about a subject that you're not really invested in, right? And so I think building that being authentic and like having some way to resonate with audience. I mean, that's one key. I'd say it also there has to be some uniqueness about what your content is, because as I said, there's so many podcasts now. There's the very low barriers to entry. So why is someone choosing to listen to you about this particular subject versus someone else?
So credibility, and I think you mentioned, for instance, of like Ebony, right? Her
Hmm.
background and experience, she'd already established her audience before and had a strong credibility because that's the space she's from. So you got to be able to kind of understand, your space and speak from that and have credibility around what you're talking about.
Absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely. And all of these things are really, when I say, authenticity and when I say uniqueness, it's all about building, credibility and building trust with the audience, because that's what you'll need in order to get people to continue to come back over and over
Hmm.
as you create more content. Um, and then I think you really have to, we talked a little bit about defining success, but just recognize that it takes time and it's not necessarily like an overnight success thing, right? So you
Hmm.
have to be dedicated. It's tough to grind out, let's say your podcast is weekly. When I do always on podcasts, so usually span 44 to 50 episodes in a year. That means you're cranking out an episode every
Every week.
single week,
Yeah.
right? And depending on the format of the show, that can be a grind. It takes time to book guests, or if even if you don't have a interview based show and you're just talking, it takes time to come up with the topics and do it in a way that's like interesting and feels fresh every single week. Like these are really these are kind of really challenging, really bandwidth intensive things to do.
Hmm.
So, and if it's a seasonal show and you got 10 episodes, like when we do shows like that, it's got to be 10 episodes of heat, right? It can't
Right.
be,
Because it's got
you
to
know,
last.
it's got to last. It's got to last. It's got to resonate. And if they don't like the first 15 minutes of episode one, you might be done, you
Hmm.
know? So those are some of the things that you have to keep in mind. And now a lot of the folks that are seeing a lot of success we hear about, and let's just stay in sort of like music urban focused, like the Drink Champs of the world, the $1 million worth of game, the Joe Buttons, like um, um, a few academics, like they've been at this for a long time. This was not like overnight success.